I do feel like someone took all the tendons in front of my ankle and crumbled them up into a giant rubber band ball and then lit them on fire.
Welcome to the Hebridean for the Isles Ultra 2022. You signed up to a bit of a monster of a challenge. You've got 300k to go over 6 days.
The Isles Ultra is a stage running event covering about 185 miles over 6 days. You traverse the Outer Hebrides Islands of Scotland over a range of terrain: bogs, road, bogs, beach, trail, grass, bog. My friend Melanie and I traveled together from Pittsburgh on pretty much every form of transportation there is, ending with a beautiful 5-hour ferry ride. It took about 2 days basically to get from Pittsburgh to the Outer Hebrides.
This is what I signed up for.
So welcome to day one. So on to today, 53k. The route, as you know, is a mix between road and trail. Support each other, pay attention to the route, pay attention to your footing, stop and enjoy those views occasionally, and have a bloody great day. Are you all ready?
Yeah.
Cheers, James.
Cool. 3, 2,
Which way are we going?
1.
Yay! Nothing funny. We're just starting out. I'm like the first mile. It's totally beautiful, running by the sea. And I know people say you're crazy to do stuff like this. I'm just thinking how I get to do this all day. How lucky am I? Bloody hell. That was me almost going down. Very wet. It's slippery. Kind of like quicksand here and there. It's kind of slow going. I'm thinking a lot about cutoffs. That's what I've been most worried about. Making the cutoffs in this first part, So generally the first rule of a multi-day event is that you don't go out too hard. It should be easy pace. So it was unfortunate that on the first day we had a tight cutoff in the first part of the day because we had to catch a ferry to get to the next island. And if you couldn't make the checkpoint for the ferry, you'd have to be moved ahead in the support van. Totally understandable because, you know, ferry time's not negotiable. I did not want to have to get a ride in the van, especially on the first day. No one did. So I know I'm behind schedule for the first checkpoint. Definitely running faster than I want to be. Trying to figure out how much do I want to make the cutoff, how much do I want to kill myself. It's been really hard. I think we maybe should have started earlier. I mean, I've run the whole time. I've run the hills, except the steep ones. It's just so muddy, so slippery. Nearly couldn't run. May not make the cutoffs, but at least I've been catching up to a bunch of people. Passed a couple of people. started day one with this, about 3.5 hour, moderately hard effort. Then we had a ferry ride for about an hour to the next island where we started the second stage. Another 20 miles. I feel like maybe we're not enjoying this as much as we should, and I think that was just from the stress of the morning. Also, I didn't realize how much we'd have to be navigating, so I keep looking at the route on my watch, trying to keep people in front of me in sight. I'm definitely not just hiding behind you. Mile of day one. Really hard day. Right now my feet hurt really bad. Just passed a flock of swans. That was pretty cool. I'm done with day one, and Paula and Laura said that it's a great idea to go and put your feet in the water. So I'm gonna try it. It does feel good. That's good advice. I'm gonna listen to everything they say. I am 2 miles into day 2. We were so tired last night at dinner, just wanting to put my head on whoever's shoulder was next to me. Pretty achy, stiff. Mostly my feet hurt though. I felt so tender. I just kept trying not to think about the 60K we have today. This morning, I put some moleskin on the sore spots, and it's really helping.
Try and keep them dry as long as possible, and that's an hour longer than it would have been otherwise.
Have you ever wondered what a bog looks like? Well, this is a bog. It's very swampy. There is no keeping your feet dry here. The best you can hope for is not sinking in too deep. I heard reports of people being... Just talking to the camera! I heard reports of people being thigh deep yesterday. I was probably only ankle deep. I really kind of like the bog. I mean, for this distance, the wet feet aren't great. And obviously it slows you down a whole lot, trying not to fall. Day 2 was really beautiful, but it was also really hard. It was 39 miles, which was the longest distance I'd ever done. And that's after 33 tough miles the day before. My mental strategy was to just try as hard as I could to not think about the time or the distance. Don't look at my watch, just keep moving, enjoying the scenery. So, mile 20 something on day 2, so I'm doing okay. Feet are holding up, everything's holding up. It's just a really long day. It's a really long time to keep going. And I needed to stop to use the loo, so everybody's gotten ahead. So now I'm just trying to keep them in sight. At the lunch checkpoint, tried to eat a little something, because that's one of my real problems, is eating enough. And Sam, the crew chief, keeps trying to offer me things. She's just absolutely wonderful. And she said, you know, are you sure I can't get you anything? I said, how about a hug? And of course then, as soon as she gives me the hug, I start getting choked up for no real reason. Really, I'm fine. It's just hard to process, like as far as we went, that we weren't even halfway. And running through the bogs is so slow going. So I'm just keeping at it. It's pretty awesome. I am glad to be getting off the road into what's probably going to be another bog. Started today with a ferry ride. That was very stiff overnight. I didn't want to get off the ferry. Doing the math, I'm figuring I'll be out here at least, I don't know, maybe 5 hours. Could be more depending on the terrain. And I was feeling like I don't want to do this. And then we started running and I feel like, I'm actually running. My glutes felt really tight at first, but they're loosening up, and so far, doing okay.
The day 3 bogs were kind of next level. I almost had my shoe pulled off, and then I got stuck knee deep and had to get pulled out.
Wow, isn't that spectacular? It was impossible to see the markers. We could not see where we were going. I don't know what I would have done if I wasn't with Mandy and Paula and Sarah and Sue. They're so good at navigating and finding these markers and reading the maps on their phone. So then there was some really steep climbs where there's no trail. You're like climbing through the heather. Yeah, that was hard. What just happened?
hell in a teacup. That's what that was.
I was ready to be evacuated at one point, but we came to a spot where we could have stopped. All 5 of us decided to continue, and boy are we lucky, because it is just beautiful here. Weather is lovely. I'm wearing leggings for the first time. The shower in our new accommodations is a bit lacking. It runs for 10 seconds. It's kind of warm. And then it shuts off and you have to press a button to make it go again. It was really hard yesterday to wash off the bog. So yesterday, at the beginning of the day, my ankles felt sore, both of them, which seems reasonable considering what the bogs have been doing to them. By the end of the day, the left one really didn't feel good. Today it hurts quite a bit. So I'm gonna slog on the best I can and just see how far I can get. This is amazing. This is absolutely magical. Thank you. Well, go on then. Day 4 was amazing. We had fantastic weather. We had what I thought was the prettiest scenery so far. The terrain was the most runnable we had had, so it was really frustrating that that was the day that my ankle really started to hurt, and unfortunately I couldn't run anymore. And when you can't run and you're slowed to a hiking pace, you get a lot colder. When I stopped to put on dry socks, I saw that my left ankle was actually really swollen. I wasn't just being dramatic about it hurting. I only had about 4 miles left. Melanie was so far ahead when she saw how miserable I was. Even though she had already done the whole thing, she instantly offered to go back out. And she kept me company for the last 4 really slow miles. Encore!
Right, you know the drill. If you're all ready, without any further ado, off you go. Go! Away you go. Have a great day.
Two cores, do it! We're doing it!
Day 5. I am in bad shape. My left ankle is very swollen, very painful. There's one other person here behind me, Ellen, who's in similar shape. I joked with her this morning that we should race. The goal today is just to see how much I can get done, I guess. I still want to be out here and see Scotland. You know, I've been thinking about mental toughness. I've often felt like I'm very good at tolerating small amounts of discomfort for long periods of time, but not so much a lot of discomfort. which is why I do longer runs and not shorter, faster ones. This has been a real test of how do I handle actual pain. I mean, I'm still moving. It is pretty miserable. First mile was 26 minutes. I'm gonna see if I can beat that for my second mile. I think I have it in me. So thanks. Riding into this headwind. It is brutal. I'm really cold. I'm gonna admit it. I guess I took the dry bag that had my gloves and my hat out last night, so no gloves. Feet, of course, are wet because it's been raining and the wind's not letting up at all. So I know I like this weather, but after being out here for a while and, you know, just walking, I'm really cold. Just complaining about being cold, but the sun came out and wow, that freaking rainbow! Double rainbow. How can I not keep going? So I got about almost 9 miles walking. Even just stepping off the road when a car was coming was feeling pretty uncomfortable. By pretty uncomfortable, I mean it really hurt. Let's just call it what it was. So I was given the option of being moved ahead on the course to the final 10 miles, which is all road. I'm really grateful that the support crew is flexible and that they want us to succeed and they want us to do what feels right to us. It was a little tempting once you're in the van getting a ride to just stay in the van, especially when there are other people in the van who have decided not to continue anymore today. And as soon as I'm out here, even with the wind blowing and more rain, I felt like, you know, I'm glad I came back out here. I got warmed up. Most importantly, I have this portable hand warmer that Matt, my amazing, supportive husband, gave me for Christmas. What a game changer! So I've spent a lot of time over the past 5 days thinking about why I do these things. Today especially, why am I out here? Just think, we humans are unbelievably lucky to have a world like this. You know, this is our playground. Yeah, I could have stayed in the van. And if I'd stayed in the van, I probably would have thought, man, I'm so glad I'm not out there. It's really harsh out there. But you kind of come through it just thinking how lucky we are to be able to experience highs and lows. And they certainly make you feel powerful for being able to get through them. When you come upon other difficult situations, it can make you feel like, well, remember that day when I was in so much pain in Scotland? If I did that, then maybe I can do this. Another thing that really keeps me going are the people that they go out of their way to support you, encourage in every way. Yeah, the ankle still hurt. It's just great to be out here. It's still a good day. Coming into Stornoway. This is a pretty cool way to wrap up today. There are trees in the Outer Hebrides, but not a ton of them. So this is pretty cool. Found out that today ends in a pub. Now I really want to get there.
I am ready for a beer. I started day 6. Did not think that I would be able to complete the route in the given amount of time. Still in a good bit of pain. Unfortunately, it's both ankles now. So now they're both taped. The route for the last day was 16 miles of road and then 12 boggy trail miles. The smart thing for me to do would have been to just do the road section because walking on the bog was so much more painful. But I knew the last section was going to have really epic views. Plus it was the last section. So I watched everyone leave at the start of the day and then got a ride farther along to attempt part of the road section.
Be careful, keep your wits about you, and enjoy the day. It's the last one. We'll see you at 13k, 25k, some snacks at 40k, and then it's your finish line.
Good luck!
Bye, thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye.
So I've joined the course 8 miles in. Walking right now is harder than I thought it was going to be. Really thought I was going to feel better. At this point, I was hoping for 20-minute miles, and I'm not quite managing that yet. So hoping that things are going to get loosened up and I'll be able to pick up the pace a little bit. I'm probably around a 23-minute mile right now. Starting off was kind of peaceful, starting out alone, but I was not alone because I had the amazing support person, Sam, there with me to send me off. Sam is one of those people that's clearly meant to take care of people. She has just been fantastic, making us all feel looked after and taken care of. I'm so grateful to have her out here. So day 6, I started out on the road and I got about a little more than a mile, and I messaged Sam saying, when you come by, can you please pick me up? Because, I mean, walking on the flat road, I felt like a 6 or 7 out of 10 on the pain scale, and it just wasn't worth it to do 8 miles on the road like that when I knew that I wanted to do this 12 at the end, because, I mean, look, on the coastline. So I planned to set off alone, but then Becky was coming, plus she gave me one of her poles, and it's been really helpful, and helpful having the company too. It's painful, but this is a beautiful place. I'm glad to be able to do it, even if I'm not doing it all out well. I would have been really disappointed to miss this part. This is absolutely gorgeous. At the same time, I do feel like someone took all the tendons in front of my ankle and crumbled them up into a giant rubber band ball and then lit them on fire. And what would be nice would be if it would just stop, like for a minute, but it just doesn't ever stop. You know, every step hurts. Both ankles. But it is beautiful out here. Mile 4, 38 minutes. Crushing it. Going through that bog was absolutely brutal. I wanted the experience of being out there, but it hurt so much. After about 3 hours of nonstop pain, I had a total meltdown. The last 2 runners, Mandy and Sue, plus Martin the medic, had caught up to me. I was really worried about how long it was taking me. I was feeling bad that I was dragging Mandy and Sue down,
and that I'd be keeping everyone waiting at the end. But I just needed a break from the pain. They assured me that it would be okay to just sit down and rest for a few minutes, and they fed me drugs and chocolate, and that gave me a new lease on life. Is there a draft of whiskey in the first aid pack? Like a St. Bernard would carry?
Unfortunately not.
The last section really summed up everything that this whole trip and experience was about for me. We had the absolutely epic views and the coastline, which is a lot of what I went for, the scenery. You can't do something like this alone.
I'm good. What happened? Is this a rogue pit stop? Is that what you said? Oh.
Top
Rebel
secret
Alliance.
one.
I'm the Rebel Alliance. I moved the pit stop as far as I could go. If I could get it up there, I would have.
I could not have gotten through the last day or any of the days before if I hadn't had such fantastic company, such great people that I shared so many miles with, that we just kept each other going. The camaraderie, plus the support team that's feeding you, and all of the things that you need to keep going. You have to have that team behind you, and this was an incredible group of people. But having a great team behind you isn't enough. You have to be determined to do it. Ultimately, it was me that had to be out there all day, every day. It was me that had to cover all of those miles, regardless of wind, bog, rain, or pain. It takes a lot of mental determination to push through whatever comes. But if you have that mental determination and you have a stellar group of people behind you, you can do it. Uh-oh. There's the sun peeking through. Oh, sheeps.
It does feel like the sun's come out, especially for us, doesn't it?
Superb.
What a ride. How do you all feel?